Goya make that shit, boy.
Goya makes real.
You said adobo and salt though.
What?
And like adobo definitely got mad salt in it.
It has sodium, not exactly the same thing.
Oh, shut the fuck. There's not a seasoning out there that exists that doesn't have a little bit of salt, I swear.
Yeah, what? Like the ones that are like the seasoning, like saffron.
Even that basil. You never know. Get that fucking paprika out of here.
Who knows? I remember when Sam, when you were in college, you had that little corner of seasonings in your room.
Spice right.
It was the funniest thing.
Dude, I had everything.
Keep,
I cooked a lot.
Keep this close to like about a fist away from your face.
Right here.
The microphone. Bring it closer. Yeah, there you go. A little closer.
What the fuck? What's going on with this mic?
What? You guys, you can point it.
This thing's been tarnished,
point it
trashed,
down towards your face.
smushed and smashed. Did you start this?
Yeah.
Oh shit, we were so deep in that fucking menu.
Yeah, because
didn't even notice.
People don't know. My man Sam here has a very stable and reliable job, and when he comes back home, he takes his family out to eat. Never us, but whatever. You know, not hating.
Listen,
I mean, I
don't need him to cover my meal.
I didn't send you to a boarding school, so you know. Wow. I think I should be treated.
Wow. That's fucking
right
shots. Really came right from.
I've always supported you.
What do you think? You're inclined to a nice meal every time? You should be wine and dine.
No, just Burger King.
If anything, just some nuggets.
After I'm drunk, just chicken nuggets.
I mean, taking your family out to dinner is like, don't talk about me being hammered and showing up at 2 a.m. every night. Just buys me time. And they're there when you need them.
Maybe something
Usually,
happens.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Until you got a car for sale. We're starting off with just rounds at him.
Just rounds. Sam's lived.
You guys know I'm always there to provide a small loan.
When need be.
Whenever needed.
I'm more of an investor, not a, you guys don't want him.
He's a supplier, right?
Right.
He's like, you need something, I got you. Couple points here.
Couple points there.
Very moderate. Subprime for sure.
Me and Rivers should be in business together. Rivers gives me a little cut as long as I guarantee the money goes right to the
casino. You just walk around the casino floors after you see someone's lost all their money. You just go up to him. It's like, I think your luck's about to turn, bud.
I think you're really about to change something.
He's like, I'll give you $500. You just gotta sign this. He's just like, wait, give me a cocktail on the house.
That's it too. You're like, if you make it back tonight,
no
interest, or no, just a little $20 fee or something. But once it's been tomorrow, talking 50%.
You just
nightly.
You just say 20 points because people be like points.
Yeah, sure. I can get 20 points. They're like, yeah, $20, no problem.
You think social media ruined the loan shark game because they were just like, it's this guy, picture video.
Fuck no. There's still dudes doing that everywhere.
It's not even gonna need to be. I don't know. They're gonna legalize online gambling probably federally.
Even fucking people have bookies still.
From there, I mean,
I really want to know. Do you have to have like a lot of money to get a bookie?
No, no way.
Where are these people?
There's just normal people.
I know where trap houses are. Dude, it's like someone is just the bookie guy.
Exactly. No,
he's just sitting at a random bar at the end watching sports all the time.
Dude, at my job, because I'm always talking about these bets I'm making with people. People are always asking me what I'm putting my money on, even though I'm terrible as of late. But this one lady I work with, she was like, she's like, I got a bookie if you want to use her. But it was a woman.
Wow, that's sexist.
And it was a woman who told me about it.
What?
Who had the bookie, yeah. Double entendre.
I guess that's something I don't expect.
You're sexist.
Women betting. Yeah, I don't ever think of that.
It's all math.
They're good at math. Shit
Gotta
adds
know
up
your
to
odds. Gotta know where your holes are. Oh yeah.
Oh man, when I go to the store now, I get if I have $1 in $1 back, I'll buy a loose change. And I fell into this fucking hole because I only do the loose change because I won 4 in a row. So I've been hooked. I've been like, ooh.
How much money did you even win?
I think altogether $25. I've spent way more than that. And I'm just like, damn, I know how people fall into it now. I'm just like.
Yeah, they win that one scratch off for $500. And they're like, oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
Dude, I remember one time when I was at like some beverage center, this one lady, she literally bought like 15, like $20 scratch offs, and she was saying how she hit one time for like 20 grand, and I was like, okay, but you lost a lot in taxes, and then like, how much did you actually end up with how much I just watched you spend on scratch offs?
Were they like $5 a piece?
No, they were like $20 scratch offs. She bought a shitload of them, and she just had the kids scan them, and she lost shitload of money. I think she won like $200, but it's like she just spent like.
Yeah, when I worked in the gas station, fucking college kids from Siena came in, and they bought they were just buying lottery tickets, like easily $100 each, and there were like 3 of them. And I remember the one kid, they were just leaving. He was like, one more, just scratched it off, hit it. I was just like,
wow.
Hit it? How much?
Just like the exact amount he was down, like it was like $200 or
that's
something.
Bullshit.
Like
Fuck that kid.
I don't know, man. I need to know the odds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, just lower your chair. Pull up. Pull up on us.
Mic check.
Yeah.
That's it. No headphones deployed.
I mean, we're good.
All right.
I think we're good.
We're good. So you go back and you listen to it and you're like, what was he saying?
You look like a motherfucker.
All you can hear is the thunder off in the distance.
Yeah, fucking.
Nah, bro. This shit's got mad good soundproofing.
Holy fuck, you should have been. Dude, the other day me and Kanan were doing one. Somebody, I don't know what happened. Someone gets shot, stabbed, something.
Heart attack in the fucking police station.
Yeah, right. Fucking fire truck just parked outside this
ambulances.
window.
You gotta play it off like you edited it in. You know what I'm saying? Like it was part of like the sound effects.
Yeah. We're just like, yeah.
It's like, nah.
Here comes the fire.
Don't worry about that fucking radio noise that sounds like.
Yeah, you could literally hear like the people making calls over the radio.
Just like. It's fucking atrocious that those like EMTs make like less than $15 an hour.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
And they're the ones taking you to the hospital. Like I would be like, fuck this.
Dude, some kid I worked with.
I know somebody that's an EMT in the city.
He used to be, and he was like, fuck that shit. It's not worth it.
EMT in the city?
Me and your brother were talking about it because some dude OD'd on my block and fucking shit himself.
Yeah.
I'll never be
right in front of the checkers.
What's his first and last name?
Shut the fuck up. Oh, yeah. Well, for all I know, he was just maybe he had too much to drink. But either way, this motherfucker had to get carried out.
Yeah.
And these guys put the hazmat on, and I was like, still, I would need armor. I would need titanium.
Lead. He's like, I'm not getting cancer
fucking
from this shit.
Over here, just trying to call him.
Sam's like, we don't know the radiation levels on this homeless man.
And I was like thinking, like, yo, these guys, I don't know how much they make, but they don't make enough of that.
No way. No. But that's it. It's not affordable.
I don't know. Well, I mean, who's paying for him?
This
guy got OD'd. I mean, nope.
I don't know. If you have insurance, it's like it's $500. Some insurance covers it and stuff like that. It's like a $500.
It's still bread.
Did you just assume that this man had insurance?
No.
He lives on your block, right?
No.
Dude, no. This
lives on my block.
Sleeps on the street.
Sleeps on my block.
In New York City.
He's got a wall to sit against.
Nah, I'm talking about where I live.
And they came in the hazmat suits in the city? Oh.
Yeah, they literally had to suit up.
They were like, ooh, he smells like doo-doo.
It was insane.
They were like, he's probably got hepatitis.
Bro.
At least.
How do people just not take a dump in front of your door on a daily basis?
Well, because if you did that shit in broad daylight, the cops would fucking stop you.
And then they'd be like, hell yeah, I'm going to prison.
Bro, there are people like dying against the wall of that corner daily on your block.
Yo, they are everywhere, bro. Any city. They exist.
Who's the fucking mayor that fucked that up?
Fucked what up?
New York's been cleaned.
Yeah, what do you mean? They roughed them bums up.
Who's that guy?
Who's that guy? Get him the fuck out of there.
Who's that last guy though? The guy who was running for president?
De Blasio. He is the mayor
right now.
That guy.
He's real smart. Real good material. How's the feelings for him down there?
I can't comment on politics, actually.
I'm not asking for your opinions. I'm just saying, like, what's the feel for him down in the city? Like, you're down there every day. You're in the jungle. I don't feel like he gets a lot of love. When he launched his presidency, there was people at his thing booing him.
The people will vote how they vote. I'm not. I can't speak for.
He's a friend of the company.
Friend of a friend. He's doing a great job. But how is when you since coming from like upstate to the city?
The subway's been
What's
a nightmare.
I can't comment on the subway. And
how is that?
It is shitty.
It's out of date, bro.
You know, when it's working well, it's a very convenient, amazing thing, and then it breaks down when you need it the most, pretty frequently.
When you need it the most.
I think they were saying like 60% of the time it's not on time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on average. But
can you imagine?
Well,
Like,
and that's like, dude, that's not even the worst.
People
Isn't the
always ask
worst
me
the
point
Lear?
blank, they like what you said, right? Like, what do you know? Do you like being in the city? Do you miss upstate? Blah blah blah. Like, do you ever get tired of it? Blah. And I always like my response has always been the same thing. It's like the only time I get tired of it and feel like I miss home is when I'm on the subway getting pressed up against the glass in the rush hour commute, sweating my
fucking
fucking
hot as
balls
balls,
off
middle
in
of
a fucking
August.
suit, middle of August,
Like bunch of
pressed up
sausages.
against the glass, looking at a fucking rat
it's 7 a.m.
holding a fucking pizza, climbing up the platform, and I'm thinking, this shit is annoying.
Yeah, but like
But then as
sometimes.
soon as I hop out,
But even that, it's like,
Reality.
that wouldn't make me want to come to upstate. It would just
no,
make
no,
me
that's-
think I need to live in a different city.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like, well,
But all these major
I'm
cities
moving
just
west.
have right, and go to LA.
No,
and
but
still
everything's got its
throw
own
up
problems.
And shit on the street.
it's
all the
really
homeless people
convenient.
out
It
there.
runs all night.
Phoenix is
they
hot
got
as
an
fuck.
express train and shit like that. I can get to work pretty quickly
Texas
when shit's
is
moving
Texas.
right.
Yeah.
But and then I never have to worry about drunk driving. You know, I mean that's
Uber
very-
everywhere. Literally Uber out the ass, bro.
parking,
Unreal.
which is like not really a thing.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean,
Having a car
a lot
out
of
there
times, a lot of
would be
times my friends
trash.
have come down. They've had some successes, but like
I mean, everybody's had success.
DK.
Except for
I've also had great
One man.
I've had great failures.
Actually, wait.
took a catastrophic out.
Didn't DK do the same thing?
Nah, DK parked where he was supposed to, more or less, I think, and was
No,
fine.
he was in front of that embassy shit.
I have no idea. Well, he never got.
Well, it
ticketed
wasn't the
or anything.
embassy, really.
I don't think
He
got
made it out in
ticketed.
time.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you know what it was? Is yeah, you're right. Like he moved his car. That's what he had to do. He had to wake
He
up. At, like,
woke up a
7
little
a.m. and,
late.
like, move
Yeah.
his
Oh
car.
yeah, he couldn't find his keys, and he was freaking out. But he
pretty
still
sure-
his car was literally the next one that was gonna go when
Yeah.
he moved it. I remember that.
See, Kanan wasn't afforded that.
No, because Kanan parked in the front.
His
Kanan was
sh-
first
you
gone.
heard that shit. And
Bro, I just can't believe that I woke
Nah,
up.
that's your fault. 100%.
It is my fault, but at the same time,
The fuck?
it's so robotic. You know what I mean? It's like there's no way at 7.
I didn't think they were gonna
at-
impound your shit though.
Why?
I thought they would have just given you a ticket like that.
No.
They did. They also gave
Well, I
me a
mean,
ticket.
yeah.
That was on the window when we picked the car up.
Oh my god.
When I went there with a suspended license.
They gotta make money
What did
somehow,
that run
bro.
you?
Oh, it was the cheapest tow ever. 175
And then 175 on the
Cheapest
tow.
tow.
How much on the ticket?
on the ticket. Well, now since it's still not paid, you know,
Oh my god.
cool buck
No one's
75.
surprised about that.
So it was about $350 total. Because Kanan wanted to snooze his alarm. He's like, I'll
I didn't
catch-
even
I'll
snooze
get it on the next round.
I feel
Kanan's
like
I
didn't-
just need 5 more minutes. And he's not really asleep. He's just resting with his eyes closed. And then all of a sudden he hears... And he's like, that can't be me. He takes his time.
Bro,
he gets
they're
up.
so fast
goes
in
to
the
the
city.
window,
They're
looks.
just like back up under the car.
Oh my god.
Gone.
They have to be.
I'm just like, where are these tow trucks up here? Like when you get towed up here, because
Because like up here, they're like, oh, let's make sure their car's okay. All this, them, they're just like, hook it up, fucking grip it and rip it. Get out of there. I don't care.
Let it rip.
I don't care how much
Bro,
it
there were
fucks
so
it
many
up.
cars down there too. You remember when we were there and
Fuck
that,
yeah,
the-
bro.
The
Remember how
very
dirty
attractive
some of
woman
them
was
were?
there,
That shit was packed
Oh.
out, man.
and she was just like, I don't know, my
Looked like a
manager
fucking
got me
bagel
this
shop in the morning,
car.
bro.
Oh, that fucking
Yeah.
bad chick who definitely
Yeah.
lost her sugar daddy's car.
That was That
My
was some
manager
Sunday
paid
scares.
for my car. She's like, I think it's a Hyundai, a Honda. I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's like, they're like, what's the license plate? I don't know.
Yeah.
That was great.
That would
Yeah.
scare the fuck out of me.
You know, and it was just
Nah.
even better that I had
There
to
was
go
some
up there
great
and be like, can I
conversation
get my
going on.
car? And she was like, I need the registration, blah, blah, blah. Whose registration is it? It's like, it's my mom's. It's like, who does the car belong to? It's like, the title's in my name. It's like, but my friend has to drive it out. 'Cause I,
The best is we're walking in and Kane's like, oh, by the way, bro, I don't have a license. I'm like, word.
He's like, yeah.
I guess I get the car today.
whipping through New York.
I kind of miss driving. It was
through the streets.
It was nice,
bro.
Until
Because
I
that was the
driving
time.
upstate, my
Because
back
that was the
fucking
time,
killing me in your
bro. If you
fucking smart
remember,
car.
that
yeah.
we drove out of the city, and
Fuck
that
that.
cop matched our speed all the way back up.
Oh my god, when we were
So-
smoking, and he was literally like, I remember I glanced over at him, and like he was definitely saying something to us, but he didn't roll his window down. He's just like kind of pointing, not like pointing, but like kind of pointing. And he was definitely saying something. I was just like, I'm gonna act like I didn't see him, and I'm just gonna keep my head forward and just keep talking. And like, he definitely didn't have jurisdiction because he just pulled off that one exit.
I felt like I was a receiver trying to come off the line of scrimmage, and he was just a cornerback, just like
He was just like,
strafing,
Lock
just
him up.
strafing, like,
You
locked him up, locked him up.
You knew he was in your shadow the whole time, bro. It was just
It
so
was
fun.
parallel
I mean,
Yeah.
I would like
Maybe
if I
he
was a
saw
cop.
me and
for
he
like,
was like, alright.
miles, right? It was
Yeah.
like a good like 3-4
Well,
minutes on the highway.
It was a good. Like,
Oh,
5
yeah.
minutes
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
petrifying. Just like
We were just like, damn,
we're going to jail.
we're going down.
Oh man, but that was good. That was good because if I was a cop, I'd do the exact same shit. Just like next to some kids that looked hella suspicious, I was like, I'm just gonna match their speed.
You know,
And that would be a great story for him too. I'm driving. The title's in my name. Registration's in my mom. Why don't y'all step out of the car?
Put your hands on the hood.
He's like, well, I don't have a license per se.
Well, I wasn't driving. Sam was.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But it's in my name. And
Officer, listen.
Officer.
Officer.
Officer, please.
Officer, please.
I would have spoken up. I'd have been like, we all know, I'd have taken command of the situation. I'd have been like, sir,
Yes, sir.
don't worry.
He's half white.
They're with me.
He's all
He's
black.
half white.
He's like
Connor and him go take a walk.
Yeah. So we just like take a walk.
At the end of
We're
it,
just
they're like
talking.
shaking hands.
Guys laughing when we come back. Yeah, she's just like, have a good one, guys.
He like comes back and Connor just hops in the driver's seat of the car and just
Yeah.
takes off. He's like, "You guys are going to jail."
Yeah, he's like, all right, well,
I
here,
caught
well,
a ride
I am-
home. And
I'm good. He's like, hey, Kanan, you're definitely going to jail. Deb, I don't know. They're gonna take you to the station.
Can't wait.
Get an Uber.
Get an Uber.
Nah, nothing was better than when DK got pulled over coming back from down there, though. RoboCop.
Oh, that was,
It was
from
you
the
and
city.
me.
That wasn't
Well, that
from
was
the
from
city.
Woodbury.
Yeah, yeah.
It's almost there.
Yeah,
It's right
We're
outside.
almost there.
You know what I mean, dude? This RoboCop, bro. He literally like pulls over DK, walks up to like the window. We roll down the window. Just smoked a fat blunt. Like literally tossed it 2 minutes before. There's no way it doesn't just. The smell isn't just pouring out of this car. And he's just like, driver, license and reg.
Really?
Swear to God, fucking DK gives it to him. I think he said
He
like
like scans it on his vest. Like,
that would have been insane.
Best thing, empty beer can and
Insert.
DK's cup holder.
Yeah.
right in the cup holder.
Oh, so ignorant. He just walks right back to the car, and then comes back and he's like, all right, got you a ticket. He's like, mail it in, come back for court, have a good one, and just fucking gets in his car and just rips it, and then we just see him like got somebody else pulled over literally within 3 minutes.
He's
Oh,
just
Dude
yeah.
was
trying to-
efficient.
And a
Where were you
system.
guys? Like, they're just trying to generate revenue in these small fucking towns, bro.
Bro,
I
no,
want to
he
say by
just-
Hudson, around there.
He was just
no,
effi-
couldn't have been that far.
He was just efficient. He was just like, I'm just gonna write you a ticket because you were going fast.
On to the
I
next.
don't want to hear a fucking excuse. Because
Yeah,
he wasn't even there for it. Like, if he was there, DK just gave him his shit
I almost think he was like,
and came
it's
back.
like pulled you over for speeding.
Oh, yeah. He was. Yeah,
Didn't give him a mile per hour, anything like
Nah,
that.
it was definitely like 80 something and a 65.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but like on the ticket it says that. But I'm saying like
No, I think
he didn't say he didn't waste any time with
Yeah, I'm sure he
semantics, numbers, any bullshit like that.
You know I pulled you over?
Yeah, exactly. Nothing like that. He's like, got you speeding.
Yeah.
License
That's
and
nice. I
reg.
like that. Very professional. It's like,
Honestly, I just thought
just
the
be, if
license
you're gonna
and
give me a
reg shit
ticket,
was
let's
so
just
funny.
not waste our time here.
Right.
Yeah,
Well-
I don't have that problem anymore though.
Nope, no car.
Driving from Albany to Binghamton was rough though.
Yeah, but at least you had
They,
the dart.
they got me a few times. Yeah, that was helpful.
You're like, I ignored it sometimes. You're like, it's
Well-
lying.
No. That's never what happened. It's frankly, it's the laser. There's the laser technology that they have. Is that's when you're done.
Oh,
When they're pointing the gun at
And you just hear laser.
trying to dodge it.
It's like the
It's like,
equivalent
oh,
to like
shit, just rolls off
being
the
on
highway.
the corner and they got the big lights on you from multiple angles. It's like, because like all right, if that shit said laser, number one, I've been clocked, and number two, like where these people post up and shoot lasers, they have like
They have a height.
they have a height or advantage.
Yeah.
Usually they're able to ramp down and then like
Cut you off.
Yeah,
They're right
so
behind
there's
you
no
the moment you pass.
and I'm sure they planned it out, so
Or
usually
they call their boy up ahead. They're like, "Brr, we got him.
so they hit me twice with that laser.
What do they
Laser.
say? How do they
Laser.
feel when they see your dar? Like, we won this time, punk.
One time, I think I didn't even get a ticket, so I don't think he gave a shit. Because I'm not gonna like try to like move it, and then next thing you know, like
Had a gun on him.
Yeah, right.
bullets in
Yeah,
him.
they're like, what were you doing, son?
Get out.
Both hands
They're
on
like,
the wheel.
put your hands on the wheel and get out of the car. He tries to open the door. He's like, I said hands on the wheel.
But there was one time I was doing my usual, sir, please, like trying to get him to not write me a ticket. And he's like, not with radar. It's like maybe you could have bullshitted your way out of this one, maybe, but I'm not gonna give.
Bro, how is Plasty gotten out of
Slack.
so many fucking tickets, Deweys,
Yeah, he's got
white? He's got that nice white face. They're like,
Yeah.
like, listen, son. They're like, we'd hate to ruin your life or impede you in any way. They're like, you only blew a 1.2. You're all right. How far did you say you're going? Just around the corner. Go on ahead.
Who got
Cops
a,
like, I'll escort you there.
who got a DWI with Max? Remember when I had a
Shay.
couple-
That was funny as shit, bro.
That was hilarious.
All because his taillight was out. I don't know why she was driving. But I remember we went to Troy for this party that got literally busted like right before we got there. So we essentially drove there from Albany to get pizza.
Yep.
And then as we were leaving, coming down Hoosick, like we literally got pulled over coming into the pizza shop. And the guy let us go. He was like, you know what? It's cool, whatever. And then when we leave, another cop pulls us over. And he wasn't having it. They even tried to hurt, like, Max was even trying to be like, we literally just got stopped by a cop. And he let us go. And this guy was just like, well, I ain't the one, son. That was funny as fuck. Oh, yeah, you had to pick us up.
Yeah, I thought it was funny because DK called me this time, and I didn't know it was because I thought it was just like to give him a ride at 4, but it was definitely because he got that Dewey.
Oh, yeah, at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dude, anytime I've ever been drunk and it's just like we're somewhere with no ride and we're like, how do we get home? I'm just like, Kanan. He'll answer. I don't care if he's at work, sleeping. He'll make it eventually. You've always come through many times.
Anytime.
I couldn't name them all.
You know who hasn't come through? Sam, when it's at his own door. And he has
Oh my
all-
God, bro.
and
What
he
was
has-
that about?
And he had all his friends over.
Honestly, that is rare for him. That's like that real
Like,
deb.
I want the people, my listeners, to really think about a situation when you go down with all your friends to someone's house that lives far away, and he has the only key, and you go out to a club,
with him.
and then that person who you're staying with disappears, and
That was
then
the
doesn't
funniest
answer
shit.
his phone.
Bro, we literally like looked around. And we're like, anybody seen Deb? And Kanan was just like, oh, he's gone. And Kanan's like, he definitely left. Last time we saw you, your nose was sweating. You were looking pretty pale.
No,
And like he just once you start
He had headbutted me
headbutting,
3 times in the chest when I was like, "Are you good, bro?" And I received 3 headbutts to the chest to let me know he was all right.
He's like, I'm
With
not good.
no words with those headbutts. It was just headbutts.
Deep down, Sam's like trying to call to you, like, bro, help me.
Help
I'm
me.
spinning out of control. I'm
It's like
spiraling.
hitting my chest. He's like my heart.
I just love how fucking we got in there.
It hurts right here.
Brian and Plasty. Just going full
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
I still can't believe they did that, but
Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Do you just stare at like your neighbor's door now and be like, "Have you?"
Who knows which one it was? I don't even know which way they went. I couldn't tell you what they went up through. Fuck that. We must have been sitting there too, ringing your doorbell for like. Actually, no, that was the funniest part. Kanan was down there ringing your doorbell for like a solid 35 minutes. I literally came
Ringing,
down.
I was just
I
knocking
came
on his
down and
door.
I was like, bro, I got the
Ringing.
touch.
On my actual
at your apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you were sleeping. You left us.
Bro, you know it's funny. I was hanging out with some girl like 2 weeks ago, and she was telling me, or I think it was like last weekend, and she went through the exact same shit. She was basically like blackout drunk, and she's like, "Oh, my friends are visiting me," except for like her phone had like not only died but had been like disabled and like malfunctioned. And she's like, "I have no idea where they are." And I was like, "Well, you know, I had a similar experience.
Where his phone wasn't disabled.
Let's just say my
or
friends
off.
were very resourceful."
he's like they made it back.
I just want to reenact that thing with like Bond music, just like when
God.
when the door's locked and Brian's like, I can't get in. Shoulders the door.
Mission Impossible, but
Mission
Whatever.
Same
Impossible.
thing.
It's like,
Same
shit.
All the same shit.
we're
fuck that scaling a barbed wire fence on the side of a roof.
all while shirtless.
Always shirtless.
The funniest thing
You
is,
can't go anywhere with those
it
two
took
and them
me,
not
it
take
took
their
me
shirts off.
months to fully comprehend like what they had done, because I'd always ask Brian. I'm like, "Yo, Brian, like, how'd you get?" He's like, "No." I'm right on the fucking.
He's
I'm right on the fucking. I
We
was
took
like,
the door, we took the stairs, on the roof, went
I was like,
around, bam!
in my head, I'm just picturing him just fucking
Oh,
scaling.
that's
up
it
the building.
too. That kid, all of us, shit-faced. Damn near blackout drunk. How he didn't fall off the side of a building,
That's
we'll
incredible.
never know.
That's Brian in prime form.
Best part though was when he went to let me and Kanan in. You know how you got the wooden double doors in the front
bro,
and you push
he
them
almost,
open.
Bro, he almost took that door. Like
He
that
was
would have
gonna
been the
rip that
second.
shit.
Let's go. We're gonna rip another one.
That's it. We would have broken into your building and been the fuck out of there because,
I heard the fucking screws in the wall.
Oh
Just
my
like
God.
bro, kid was literally like, bro, grabbing both of them. Not even just grabbing one door, just trying to yank them both open. And we're like, bro, it's push, it's push.
and to the people who might not know, just to, like everyone has that one friend that's just mad strong for just no apparent reason.
It's like,
That's our friend Brian, but
He's got
Brian
those
always
monkey
has
arms.
a beer in his hand. So just imagine in super toxic, just wasted,
no
just
shirt,
no shirt.
beer in his hand,
Well, he didn't have beer in his
trying
hand.
to rip things down.
Yeah.
Just call him demolition, man.
I just can't put, bro. I just want to know if people were on your roof deck when
Probably
they
not,
hopped
probably
over.
No, it was like 4 a.m. almost.
No, I understand
like,
that,
I'd
but
be
3.
shook. Can you imagine that? You see somebody just fucking jump.
He's
up
like,
and
no, it's
scale.
cool. We just got locked out, bro.
can you imagine that's the
Call the
reason they
police.
get?
Call
I
the
just
police.
scaled.
Then they like follow him downstairs and he doesn't notice and he's just like trying to rip these doors down. The best part too is the fact that they just took the cushions off the chair,
Well, yeah.
brought him to your apartment and slept on them.
Yeah, that
and
was,
then brought him back
They brought him back the next
in
morning
front of the maintenance
as
guy.
the guy's cleaning the roof.
how was I supposed to know?
Listen, I warned you. I was like, yo, there's some dude like
Bro.
up here.
That was a great start.
Doing
to
some
the,
shit.
To the lease.
Yeah. First night.
Bro, I just thought it was
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, that was right when we moved you.
I
in.
really just wanted to see them do that. Like, I wish we would have got pizza faster and had walked back to be able to like just like look up and be like, "Oh, done!" Just be like, "What
What the
the
fuck?
fuck is happening?"
Oh yeah, that's right. We weren't even there.
No, we were at Joe's.
We were at Joe's.
Just Connor's like, "I need pizza."
Bro, you
Everyone
need
was
to hit
just
Joe's.
Everyone was just black.
Yeah, Kanan wasn't that drunk. Oh, that was mad
Just had to
funny.
lead us home.
I
The
wasn't
funniest,
that drunk.
the funniest thing was just like Plassy and Brian telling us
I was
they
not
were. We
that
had to
drunk.
go to this certain deli,
I did not
and they were
have
just like,
relations
"We
with
know
that
where we're
drink.
going."
Oh, where the fucking beef patties are? Tev doesn't even live near that shit. That
What are
shit's
you
like
talking
10
about?
blocks away. Bro, you remember the one time we went on the booze cruise? And then we got like dropped off by a gas station and we got some beef patties. We
Yeah,
still
I mean,
walked like
that
20
shit dropped
minutes.
this off on the west side.
Yeah, they're retarded. That shit's not even near there.
Yeah, so-
Brian's never even been to it. Like that was the
Joe's
first time he
Pizza
was
is a
down
good
there.
move if you're in the neighborhood.
You're in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, it's either that or
You live,
halal
like,
guys.
a couple
Well,
blocks
I'm,
away.
I'm just saying if you're around there.
Oh yeah, well it's that or halal guys. That's
Yeah.
it. That's all I
Well,
want.
guys, yeah.
Well, there's like 70 options on that street.
Oh my god.
I'll get
Checkers
lost.
right across
But
this
the thing,
building.
like, when it's like 3 a.m., I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of
Checkers.
it's still open.
I
Yeah.
can't. As mentioned, I cannot fuck with Checkers anymore. But
What happened?
He just smells the shit from that bum.
it's like you ever like eat something and then get sick, but like the sickness it wasn't related or anything like that to what you ate, but you just are always
No,
gonna associate
that bum stink got on your food.
the stank of that fucking
Wow.
bum that OD.
It was bad, bro. From what I hear.
Jeff was with me.
Yeah. Jeff will testify that it was very, very bad.
Very bad.
Oh my god, the whole block.
Yo, so,
The whole how you gonna a whole block?
You gonna need help moving again? You look like you could afford movers.
Yeah, this time don't.
The
fuck
thing
us.
that's stressing me out is that my elevator is getting repaired and
No.
you just
Yeah.
How
just
long?
I didn't even finish.
You just
to be
canceled.
honest, I think they're gonna do me like I think it's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna be fucked.
Oh my
We're
god.
fucking lowering
That's
it with
hilarious
a rope
too.
from
I
the
don't really
roof.
have
Because when we would take that elevator, we talked so much shit about that when we were moving you in.
What? How
How
shitty
was
it
like-
was?
Oh,
yeah, and
yeah.
like the fact that like we were getting so much furniture in there at once.
That elevator was
'Cause me and
shit,
Kanan are
and I'm not
professionals.
surprised that it need to get fucking fixed up, but I didn't think it would take this long. Like shut down for a fucking month.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
what?
god.
Wow, dude.
What is this? What is this? A escalator on the subway? You know,
Holy
like-
shit.
I just so for the terms of that move, I'm gonna need a lot of beer and a lot of food.
You guys charge a competitive rate. What can I say?
Dev's like, deal.
Listen,
you got
I'm a-
my hands behind.
I'm
my
a
back.
nice guy, but I've helped. Well, pretty much just Kanan moved so many times that
100 times.
I have a flat rate now that's beer
Yeah.
and a meal. You're gonna feed me
Oh, yeah.
and you're gonna get me drunk
The worst part is just
and
that
you're gonna get me home.
Bro, the worst part about that last move was that U-Haul ride. I swear to God,
Ooh,
if we would have
you
hit
should have
something a little,
Ubered.
if we would have
Yeah,
hit
you
something
guys.
a
I
little,
told you
That
guys
was
you guys
stupid.
should've
We
really
should've just
Ubered, But
Ubered.
I mean, you were trying to.
That
save
was
money.
dumb.
I don't know.
We were being
if
cheap
we would have hit
bastards.
something, I would have blew.
If
And
you
it was like,
fucking-
no, all of my expenses need to be paid. I was like, well,
Or
alright,
just
then
a
get in the
fucking taxi.
U-Haul.
Like fuck, those taxis aren't
Bro,
that
it wasn't
expensive
even
either.
that.
It's
There
not
was the
bad.
fact that when I went down to the city, it was to help you move, and you guys turned it into like I told you I had like $5 in my bank account when I got down there, and you guys were like, definitely, we're leaving tomorrow.
It wasn't.
And then you
No,
turned
we didn't
it.
say we
Nobody-
were leaving
nobody-
tomorrow. We were just like, oh, we're not gonna go that hard. And then it just so happened that there was Drake and Migos in town. They just happened to
Yeah, what
stop
makes you
by.
think you weren't gonna spend money?
Because
No,
it
he
was just
had
like
no
a-
money.
It was just like, bro, I had no money. It wasn't
Everybody
Drake
told
and
you they
Migos.
would loan you.
Bro.
I know.
I believe
because
you took.
I had.
He
I
took
had
money.
great-
He borrowed money from me, you,
I had
and
great-
DK.
Yeah, he had a consortium.
I had,
Yeah,
I
consorted
had
loan.
great friends. I
Great
have
people.
great people in my
We should have
life.
sold that. We should have combined it into a fucking triple D bond
Yeah,
and
dude.
sold it on the open market.
Hell yeah. Trading Kanan's debt.
Kanan's debt. Next thing Kanan knows, they're fucking taking his car.
DK's debt is pretty liquid. Like, it trades.
Oh,
like,
it trades fast.
Come on.
I don't know.
I've traded plenty of DK's
I got
debt.
out of the loan business just because it was too much hassle. Always being like, so,
Forget.
yeah, exactly. That's it too. I forget. Half the time I'd forget to even.
I don't see
Half the
you
time
fucks
I'd
every
even
day.
forget to put it in my phone, and it's like we're out drinking, and I give someone money, and then I wake up the next day, and I'm like, how much did I give him?
Never.
And
me.
it's always getting shipped away.
my-
Like, oh, you went out and you picked up a few drinks.
My credit is impeccable. I've
Yeah,
paid
shipped
everyone.
away to where? China.
I've paid everybody. I have no
Shipped
debts.
away.
I paid
shipped away.
all my debts.
I paid all my debts.
No, the only people I still have debts outstanding with.
I can't guess their names.
We don't need to. You know.
You know who you are.
Not that I'm looking for it. You know what I mean? I'm good. I'm all right. I'm comfortable. It's not much.
Yeah.
It's not much.
So, Deb, I wanted to talk to you about these markets. Can you not comment on these?
Markets, well, I mean, you know,
What are you
my
hearing? What are
opinions
you
are my
seeing?
own and not representative of any organization or anything like that. But what am I seeing in these markets? Well, to be honest, in my day-to-day, I don't really follow, you know, individual companies.
I'm not
for the
talking
most
about-
part.
Yeah, we're talking about
I'm
the
not
market
talking about
overall.
stocks, really. I'm talking
Well,
more
I'm talking
about
about how do you feel
But
in the
the
market
economy.
at this time. We're ramping up for another election.
I think
I don't think that
the
really has a lot
economy
to
is
do with
doing.
it
I mean, if you
sometimes.
want to look at some of the key stats, I think the economy is doing really well. Like unemployment has been super low.
True.
Especially black unemployment.
Don't you? I gotta say though, I really feel like some of those numbers are just skewed
More, there's a lot of
because so many
criticism.
people drop out of the unemployment market. After,
Right.
What is it?
I think the labor
60,
force
60
participation
60
rate
what?
has gone
60,
down.
I think it's 60 or 65.
And I mean, there's all kinds of other statistics like
Huh?
wages have
No.
really
Like
been
when
going
you're
up.
a certain amount of months, like unemployed.
Oh,
you get-
after 12 months
you
of
get
looking for a
kicked out
job.
of the
Yeah,
statistic.
Yeah.
I think it's more than that now.
Is it
I think it might be
15 months?
20
20
or 18.
Continue, Sam. We're sorry.
No, it's fine. I think that, you know, if you look at the stock market year to date, it's been up quite a bit. Like, I want to say like 20% or something like that. But I have just been hesitant because I think that a lot of the reason why the stock market has gone up is because, like, you know, interest rates have been so low, right? And, like, all this talk about,
they're too pussy to raise them.
You know, the Fed and things like that. It's just a little bit worrisome. I don't know. You know, right now the stock market actually thinks that the Fed is going to cut rates, but
which is terrible. To me, that's what worries me. Is like, how if you're gonna act like this is such a good economy, you were like, oh, we can't raise rates though, because every time we raise it like 250 points, like everything starts pulling back quite immediately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People get shook when they think the Fed is going to raise rates,
but they shouldn't be.
People get
It's good in the long run.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good economy, isn't it?
Exactly. That's what you always do in a good economy.
You got to think about
QE.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we need QE if we're in the best economy ever? Doesn't make sense.
Right. I agree.
We should be in tightening mode.
We should
less money flowing out.
I was saying that for a while. The argument against the tightening thing is that we haven't really seen much inflation.
No, exactly, because they just pump so much money in there.
But if we don't,
they
stalemated
it.
Isn't the battle against inflation the ability to lower interest rates to battle inflation?
Well,
that's what they're afraid of.
If you have high inflation, you want to raise rates, basically, because it's like saying, like, if it's easy to borrow money, right, and it's cheap, then there's just going to be more money out there, right?
Right.
There's more money out there. It's kind of like supply and demand. It increased supply, holding demand equal. Like, it causes, like, you know, an easy access of money just basically means the money is worth less, essentially.
Yeah.
And so when money is worth less, it doesn't buy as much, and then that's what causes inflation, basically, is you have all these dollars out, and they can't buy it. It doesn't have as much buying power.
Mm-hmm. But don't you think we should be at, like...
But there's target inflation, right? You don't want inflation to be too low, either. When inflation is too low, it hurts business growth,
right,
things like that. And, in fact, that's really been the crux of the argument to keep rates low, is that we haven't seen inflation anywhere near 2%. I mean, it's inching closer and closer. But, yeah, I mean, so it's tough. I don't know. Like, on one hand, you have Trump screaming, lower the rates.
Which is like...
Turn the rates down!
Makes no
They're
sense.
too bright!
He basically... I feel like Trump, like, when he was running, like, just trashed Obama's economy and, like, all the things he was doing. And then he took over, and he just started doing the exact same things.
Because I think he saw how good the stock market did under Obama's tenure between, like, 2010 or, like, I think it started to creep back up in 2009, right up until he left, you know what I'm saying?
More like 2010.
Maybe 20. I think maybe he had, like, I think
it was a little rough.
I think 2009 was still a bad year, right? So 2010 until he left office, and, like, Trump sees that
I would say
as,
it
like,
really popped in, like,
2012,
after that whole OPEC fiasco, because it was moving up in, like, 2013.
But essentially that
and
market
that
was
was
propped up by, like, fucking 20, like,
the Fed just pumping
25 basis point interest rates,
trillions of dollars into the economy.
Not only dropping rates to nearly zero,
nothing. No, they were at zero.
So I think they might have hit zero, or it was 25 bips above zero.
And then, like, what would you say? They didn't raise rates until about 2013.
The first hike was, I think,
and they would do
2016 or something like that.
Was it really that late? No, it had to have been before
like that. I think maybe they did like one or two hikes.
By the time Trump got in, it was at about 1.5. I think
1.75.
That to me is what's terrible. Is like, how are we not even at 3% rate? Like 3% isn't even bad.
Well, so a lot of people now, and then you got to look at other countries
before the crash. It was
other
at
countries
what?
Are experiencing this a lot worse than us. Like other modern developed countries, Europe, for example, has had 0% interest rates and pretty much like zero to negative amounts of inflation. Japan is not growing, right?
Exactly.
Deflation.
So where's the incentive to get it up if like everybody, pretty much the whole world.
The only countries with high rates and high growth and high inflation are like these developing.
Exactly, but those are just because they literally are going from the bottom to something.
Like us,
so it's like a place
US
people want to put money into because it's easy to make money.
What makes me kind of upset is like these companies, right? The interest rates are low and the companies are borrowing. I wish a lot more people had the financial intelligence to also see that money is low.
Yeah.
So now that if you have the good credit or like the good business plan to go pitch your ideas so that you are paying these rates because the rates don't last, right?
Right. They're going to go up.
But these huge companies are getting
billions
eventually.
And billions.
They're the ones
loan.
taking advantage of it.
Well, yeah, so that brings me back to this idea of like the economy versus the stock market, right? Like
That's
who can take advantage of low interest rates? Businesses, right? People that can actually borrow large amounts of money and realize, you know, and can lock in gains, right? People that can borrow low and invest high. That's why the stock market gets propped up when there's low interest rates.
I mean, I look at the stock
how
market
does it
right
feel
now.
for the consumer that doesn't need to know how the fucking stock market works? He's putting his money in a savings account or a CD. How does it affect him when interest rates are fucking zero? Oh, he gets nothing.
Yeah,
he gets absolutely nothing on his savings.
Dude, wouldn't you agree that like the average person, they look at the stock market and they think that is the economy?
I think
that's
a
biggest
huge
problem.
misconception.
Exactly.
It's like, really, who makes money?
Like
off the
people
stock
say
market?
the economy's doing
people
great.
that own a lot of stocks and
they'll always be like, look at the stock market. It's like, well, look at the stock market before the recession.
I
it was fucking booming.
I firmly believe those are two different
Money
things,
was flying.
right?
Oh, it's completely
The stock
different.
market is the stock market, and it could go up or down depending on just like if people are willing to buy and sell fairy dust, which is what it is at the end of the day. And then there's like
Especially
measurable
nowadays.
things in the economy, right? There's like how much has the box of cereal gone up in price or a movie ticket, and like how much has the average American worker's wage gone up in relation to that? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the economy, right? Like that is what indicates how average people
How
are
are
doing.
things selling?
So what do you
money
think?
worth?
So my biggest issue with like some politicians, like with like when you people, like we said, the economy and the stock market are different, right?
Exactly.
And we have these politicians that tout these statistics of like the stock market, but I feel like they're skewed views, right? If we look at unemployment, if we look at wage growth, our country's really in a deprived state. If we look at farming, if we look at some
real
of these,
estate.
well, not even real estate, but
New home buyers is lower than it was before the recession.
It's a generational thing, though.
Yeah, more people rent now.
Yeah,
But that's still.
but if we look at
bad for the
commodities like
economy.
orange juice and like pig meat and stuff like that,
If people aren't buying homes, that's not good.
we're looking at all those things kind of like creeping upward, except for the what is it, the median household income, like that really hasn't increased over the last.
You know what
10 or 15
surprised me
years.
too?
I think when what's his name, Jerome Powell, chairman, right? He cites wage growth as the thing that's most kind of, I wouldn't say alarming, but concerning, right? Where
In, like,
you
the past
have
30 years.
low unemployment and people generally are getting jobs, but the wage growth is like super slowed down. And again, like I'm at plot wage growth versus stock market growth, right? Right, like once you're super rich, most of your money is probably coming from investments, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, when you're not rich, you work for somebody and you have a fucking wage, right? So, wages again not going up much, stock market shooting up in that same amount of time, and like that's why people are talking about this whole divide, and you know what I mean, like the gap between the super fucking rich and like the poor people's widening.
Do you
and shit.
do you have
It
an
is
i-
easy for the rich to
Do you
get
think
richer.
of any way that it could be closed? Do you think wage growth in some respect is good? Because like we look at these people who are like, the fight for 15 for like fast food workers. Like we don't look at that as a good thing.
Yeah, I know,
But
you're right.
But does that push up all the other markets because we then take our base job, which is fast food workers,
I don't think so.
and say they make 15, so I deserve more?
Because the problem is, at the end of the day, in this country, is always going to be you have so many more people looking for jobs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That they're always going to be able to replace somebody if they want more money.
Right.
So like the fight for 15 thing. First thing that happens when something like that gets passed, everybody gets cut their hours, so they don't have to pay for your health care anymore.
Now, in the
The
automation
they're
pops up.
they're just going to find ways to eliminate you.
Well, so that's
at
yeah.
the end of the day what a business has to do to keep their money right, because that's one of the problems with being public. I think is you always got to keep your points up.
Right.
Like I always think of like Chipotle when they had that E. coli outbreak, that stock went from like $500 down to like $3, and it's like I get it, they had to shut down like the West Coast to maintain it and contain that whole outbreak. But at the end of the day, that company's gonna bounce back. Once those shits are open, everybody's gonna flood it because they're like, fuck, ain't had Chipotle in a minute.
Right.
And look at it now, it's worth like $700 something bucks. But just one little problem that can take your whole company out. So you always got to have your money right.
Right, but I mean, as far as like, how do we work on wage growth, right?
I
How
think
do
you
we
gotta-
make
yeah.
more money for the jobs that not even like for your job and the other person's job? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to say let's give people $15-$20 an hour that don't necessarily deserve it.
Well,
but how do we appropriately grow wage growth in the last 10-15 years? Because now, like you said, we have more automation. A lot more of these jobs are going to be automated.
And I think that's part of the problem. Just
the-
little things like that.
All right. I mean,
but is it good to hinder improvements? Like the automation is
no,
a
it
bad
is.
thing,
No,
but it's a
honestly,
good thing at
I don't
the same
think
time.
to automate. The way I see it is this: you take a short-term hit to unemployment, right? The immediate effect of automation is people probably will lose their jobs, right?
Yeah.
But as an advanced economy, there's no room left to like we're not a manufacturing like the reason why wages are so low is like why would an American businessman pay an American worker X amount of money when there's Mexico and there's China and there's
plenty
India,
of places with
right?
labor,
plenty of places
and land.
like right. So
You got the
take
capital.
McDonald's. Automate the fuck out of that shit, right? Kiosks, and then the few workers that are left actually running the shit.
It's more efficient.
Give them a skilled wage. Make them true service workers.
True.
Like pay them good fucking money, and they're not wasting their time taking orders and doing shit like that. They're focused on just like, you know what I'm saying, good customer service, like whatever, making sure the food is good, like automate, you know what I'm saying, like and that's what I said, right? Is it's a pull and push. You're gonna take a hit to the unemployment, right? The immediate effect of automation is people lose their jobs, but like how else are you going to grow the economy? And, like, how else are you going to compete with other countries, right?
Not even
like,
that. Other jobs are going to spring up.
We got to go balls to the wall.
Things have been getting automated in a sense
a technology services
for the past couple hundred years.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, like, to hinder our progress in technology. I'm just wondering, how do we grow appropriately the wage gap to make sure that maybe we can solve some of the issues that we have been having, right? Like,
I think access to education is the other thing, right? Like
more skilled labor.
I think education changes so fast, and we're so behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like everything we've been.
I think
trained
the whole
for,
way that it's set up is pretty terrible in this
yeah,
country too.
I just think anything you were learned in school when we went to school is basically out of date. Like if I'm trying to go be your job right now, you know what I mean? If I don't know additionally coding or something else to make me stand out, it doesn't even matter. Like if we join high school now. You know what I mean? Like things have shifted. You know what I mean?
Not even that. It's too cookie cutter. Like think about it.
You
don't really learn shit until you're in about 5th grade. Like before that, it's almost like fucking daycare.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like yeah, you're learning shit, but like we're learning at such a slower rate than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Like something as simple as like the English language. Most of these other European countries, places like that,
they learn multiple languages.
They learn multiple languages, but we fucking can't even control our own language until we're in like high school. You know
well,
what I mean?
Can't
we're
be
still
scared
learning
to push
this
kids, right? That's the thing is nobody,
especially with math. I think that's the biggest one.
I think for me, like for most people, you probably walk in kindergarten, and when you're young, you're like, wow, this is easy. This is a fucking joke. Like you're like thinking, is everyone else is dumb? And like and then by the time you get to like senior year of high school or college, you're like, wow, this shit got hard all of a sudden. What happened?
Yeah, that's it.
I never learned how to push myself.
It was a joke all the way up until the end.
It's not like that in a lot of these other developing countries that are sending people over and coming to our schools.
Right?
They're touching calculus in 8th grade. You know
they're way more hard ass. You know what I mean? Like just the whole social lifestyle. It's not for everyone.
Then we start talking about trades and things like that, and like you know what I mean. Make it relevant for somebody who like for whatever reason is just not going to be cut out to do a ton of studying and this and that. He could still get a fucking good job like in a trade or something like that, but he just probably needs to invest in that route. Like I think you should let people dip their foot in different kind of paths before they leave high school. You know what I'm saying? Like
you think high school should be a little bit longer?
I don't know if it should necessarily be longer, but
they should target you.
But what I'm talking about experiential learning. Give a kid an opportunity to see what an actual job looks like in a variety of different fields.
That's what I'm kind of saying is like if you did a 4-year high school degree, right? We figure out in the first 2 years, all right, you're probably not going to go on to an educational background, so let's train you in the next 2 years to do a trade.
And
then
that's the biggest problem.
And let's put you into a next 2-year program that gives you the in-job experience, like for kitchen or truck drivers or even mechanics and stuff like that.
Fuck that, plumbing, electrical,
also, the other thing is we got to
like in 10 years, there's going to be such a shortage of those people. They really need to
empower students with information. I think people are sensitive to talk about like career paths and salaries and things like that, but like give the students the information. Let them know this trade pays on average this much.
I would say a lot of it too is just
like educational plan looks like. Like stop wasting time talking about stuff that doesn't like matter. And
I feel like the problem is schools are too like set on like a social program. You know what I mean? Like there's just a way that they're told. Like at the end of the day, this is kind of how it has to be. Like you got to take all the bullshit classes. You got to do all this stupid shit that doesn't matter.
And they want things to be standardized and things like that. And that's gonna happen. I mean, look, it's New York State.
Look
Everybody
at
has
standardized
to have
testing. It's pretty much agreed across the board that was like the stupidest fucking thing they ever did. Because it's like, why are you giving kids in elementary schools standardized tests?
I mean,
that ain't gonna fucking help.
It's
them.
even worse in the city. I don't know if you guys know this.
Oh
but,
yeah, cities are.
You know, there are these
Any
things
city
called
for the
like
most
magnet schools, basically.
Yeah. I went to one of those.
And so you need to take a test. I think in like, I mean, to get into the high school, you probably take a test in like 7th or 8th grade. But then to even have gotten into that middle school, you probably took a test in like the 4th or 5th grade. Like,
yeah, I had to take a test.
They
to
literally
get
got
into that school.
And it's like it ain't even like some shit like that's gonna decide like whether or not you take a class. Like it's literally like the trajectory of like.
It's not even that. It's those people that start those schools are getting
limited.
paid so much money from the government to start those magnet schools. Because those magnet schools will pop up in inner city programs.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, we're going to give your kids a better education and this and that, and you're going to pay an X amount, or we're going to test your kids this amount to improve. And it really doesn't, I feel like it doesn't help that much. Like,
well, I mean, there's like 4 or 5 big magnet schools in the city, and they pump out like top 20 university students. Like, I think pretty much everyone probably goes to like a 4-year college at some point. Like,
but I would like to know if that's because of testing scores, or is it because
the resources invested in the school and the programs?
They just have more money to do more things.
Well, no, it's different. It's different. It's
their
like,
way they're set up is.
And also,
different.
you know, everybody in there had to take a test to get in there, so it's like a different level of. You don't have this sense of like, am I gonna be called a nerd, or like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, do I not like nah? Because honestly, the kid next to me had to fucking pass the test to get in here too. Yeah. So obviously he fucking cares, and like, it just raises the bar for everyone.
Well, I feel
and then on top, that's like one factor, right? But then the programs and shit like that, just being in that environment and having, they probably have all kinds of classes we can never think of. They have majors in a lot of those schools, right? Like you can choose a focus or a study. You'll still get the same New York State basic curriculum, but then you also get to like, if you're interested in law,
you get to
business,
go in. You get to go in with college
computer
credits
science,
or something like that.
Yeah.
See, that's where you get screwed though. In like a normal school, is like all you get is that basic cookie cutter certified public curriculum that like the state or government has to approve of, and you got to follow it so that you get certain grants and certain money
and calculus BC. But like, what if you don't want to fucking like? What if you don't necessarily?
That's
need
it too. Like all the advanced classes are all just in the same direction. So like all the smart kids are just doing the same shit.
I know plenty of people who had AP
classes.
All right.
It just gets you ahead of the curve essentially.
It gets you ahead of the curve.
Okay, but ahead of the curve.
You get college credits, things like that.
Do you in AP classes? Do you get college
credits?
Yeah,
you do. That was a big misconception of mine. I wish I took more. I wish I took more, dude. I came in with no college
Physics,
credits.
Calculus, all those are all college records.
That's less classes you got to take in college when it's significantly
harder. But to me, it's like, what if you were like a really good writer and you did great in school, and like, what are you taking those like science classes for? Just for the AP credits? Probably won't even help you. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing really for one person. Or like, if you're going for law, you don't need to take physics. You don't need to take calc, shit like that. In high school, you could be taking law classes that can further you, get you better at what you're going to do.
I think I like that, but at the same time, I think that there should be a basic curriculum set to be like, you should know up to this math what to do. Like, I think after basic algebra,
we should be learning it earlier, though, is the problem.
I don't use fucking the Pythagorean theorem on triangles.
Yeah, you do. That's in everything. You don't think you do? It's in everything.
Shut the fuck up.
All right, bro. Anything that has to deal with calculus is all based off of that.
I understand that, but I'm saying in the daily life, like, you probably use way more algebra.
Yeah, but the only reason you learn shit like that is because they want you to have an understanding of what takes you to that further level of the equation.
I'm saying that, yes.
You still got to learn that shit. That shit's
I'm not saying we don't learn that.
The problem with school is that
it's like, at a certain point,
you gotta learn. You gotta learn how to learn. Number one, you gotta learn how to learn.
What doesn't matter is art
studying
class,
calculus and all that
music.
Shit. It helps you learn how to learn and be able to like learn when you're on the job and like figure out. You just increase your brain's capacity to learn new things. It's like a muscle. But the other thing I'll say is that like we should make geometry more relevant to the real world. Like they should bring in, like for me, I was taking calculus and I had all these professors and I couldn't understand what the fuck they were talking about. I was like, this is so stupid. And now I started studying for the CFA and I'm learning how to apply different concepts to what I find interesting, right?
Exactly.
Valuing a stock,
money,
or a derivative, and to be honest,
velocity,
money, right?
Where's the momentum coming from?
All of a sudden now I'm like, wow, like I'm at least I had a slight foundation, or statistics, for example.
Oh yeah.
How many of us we deal with statistics all the time?
You didn't even learn statistics really. Like you brush over it in like algebra, but you don't even like. I didn't even learn that shit till college, and it's like, come on, bro.
Don't remember it.
It's in algebra, like just a little bit, just to get you working with fractions.
And it's like everything, like
it doesn't.
I would need a hardcore refresher.
When you graduate high school, you should know if I go up to a bank and I get quoted an interest rate at some kind of compounding.
Exactly.
You
Certain
should be
things
able
like
to
that.
calculate right then and there. If you're being offered a student loan at 18, you should understand like what are the implications of the student
What's
loan.
the
and, like,
amortization on this?
yeah, exactly. What would my payments
this
look
bill?
like? You know what I mean? Maybe you don't need to know how to do the fucking math, but you should at least know what all the numbers mean and how to plug them into some fucking calculator that does it
That's
for
why
you.
like it's tough when you hear like these people complaining about the student debt they took on, and it's like, yeah, you knew what you were doing when you signed that, so like part of me doesn't feel bad for them, because it's like, dude,
That's a
you
scary
knew this
position
was
to be in.
$50,000 a semester or a year, whatever. You decided to go there for 5 years, take your time, party, live your life.
I agree.
And now you don't have that great a job, you can't afford it. But at the same time, most people I feel like aren't taught enough to understand how that interest rapidly affects.
I would just say
their loans.
if they could just lower the interest rate. I'm not saying lower the principal they borrowed, but I'm just saying
I think
like
it's already too low. That's why too many people take loans.
Yeah, but these fucking colleges and banks set it up to where it's like that's the only option you have.
Because of the
like,
government.
My point exactly. Like it shouldn't be because
it's because they're all government backed.
These government backed securities that these colleges are now forcing upon
That's
students.
another thing I think.
Like
crazy.
there's no one gives you another option. Like,
well,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. Because
I'm not saying
they price them all out the market.
What I'm saying is like there are not. You can't even. Some people don't understand how to shop around, and that's the point. That's the problem I see. Is like none of these people came in saying I've been accepted to your school and institution.
Like something like Hudson Valley.
I worked hard at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't get a scholarship, so I want to go to your institution that I've been accepted to. And they're like, here's a student loan.
Here's a
and
government loan. Here you go.
And you're like, okay, so I can go to school. But they don't know they can go shopping around for that same
Probably
loan.
go to a local bank, maybe get it for 4% instead
that's
of 5.5%.
what I'm saying. I think it's
simple
like
things like
go
that.
to a state school, the community college.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Loan,
even something like, well, I mean, at Hudson Valley, you still got to get a loan, but it was like only $5,500 a year, which is like a joke.
You could work part time and pay.
Exactly. Or you could fucking go to your bank and maybe get a loan for a better rate than you could from the government.
I guess you should treat like you shouldn't. You have to charge them interest, and it has to be like, I mean,
they can't give it out for
if
free.
There's a private
private
student loan market, then it's just going to be driven by the market itself. But like, yeah, you shouldn't fuck them, like, you know what I mean?
Especially if you're getting like a couple $100,000, like it shouldn't be over. 6%.
I mean, you could probably get a cheaper loan if you're gonna invest it in like a business or like a restaurant or something. I don't really know how the rates compare.
Yeah, but like think about that too. Like not many banks are just gonna give an 18-year-old like $200,000.
So they gotta charge them interest.
You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
I mean, they gotta charge them a higher rate. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
And I think like the government backing these loans, it just allowed schools to just raise the rates.
I mean, if there's
because they're like, no matter what, we're getting the money.
I don't know. I don't think that you can really disrupt the private market, right? You can't tell the most expensive schools in the country with like the most distinguished alumni and people from all over the world trying to go there that they have to put it. You can't cap them.
Especially if they're always, they have too many people applying. So why should they lower it?
It would be nice. It would be nice if there were schools that
demand.
charged like $70,000 and like there wasn't such a huge difference between the price of community college and the price of like the most distinguished, you know, private schools.
I kind of wish it was like public. I kind of wish it was like these companies that are on the market. They have to disclose everything. And like income and balance statements, so that we know it's like this is how much you spent on.
Well, where's the money going?
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
so a big thing there, administrators, tenure,
right. But that's what I'm saying, because like if you have like people that can like sit on a board that like go to the school, and I'm just saying you like shake your head at it, but it's like, what are you gonna do differently? Like, these schools have no regulation on when they can cap themselves or when they can get capped.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like per year. They can fucking just add people to a board just to get some motherfuckers paid. You know what I'm saying? And they're just like, oh, yeah, we need them.
I'm not saying that the school puts people on the board. I'm saying the student body, the people who have been there for the 4-year term can say, where is this money going and where can it be better spent? Like, I understand some of this stuff for, like, sports teams and stuff. Yeah, that's well and great. But sometimes you don't need a new stadium. The stadium you have is probably good for the next 5 years. And you can put that money into something that would benefit the student body more.
Hey, man, just to bring it back, right? My prescription, you asked me how to close the wage gap.
Yeah.
You got to ride the technology wave, accept it, don't be scared of it.
Right, but when you invest in the
education, they need to make
these
kids learn to
revolutionize
code.
the education system.
In that same vein, it's like, how do we close the wage gap? It's like better equipping these kids in these schools that they go to. It's like, hey, I'm paying for this education. It's like, well, here's some classes that are an option to take that are what we see a future industry as. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no fucking school is like, yeah, we see this as a future industry. They're just like, we're gonna teach
I would say
what's been an industry, not what's going.
Try to incentivize working as best as you can. I'm not saying get rid of public assistance, but incentivize working first and foremost. Take care of people, right? But incentivize working, and see if you can save some money on the way that this country gets ripped off on prescription drugs and medical expenses and things like that. Again, I'm not saying like let's fucking socialize
like that.
I'm not saying socialize insurance, but you can't deny that this country pays more, even when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid and shit like that, which is coming out of all of our pockets, whether or not we have private insurance or not. It's coming out of our taxes.
They're just hustling us with that one.
All right, so try to save some money on that. I mean, can we cut some wasteful government spending, things like that? You know what I mean? Like, you need. Those are all little things on the side, but I think that the two big things are like which the direction this country needs to go is like we need to get smarter, we need to revolutionize the education system, and we need to accept the fact that in 2019, the United States, like, there's no such thing as coal, there's no such thing as fucking a good old-fashioned manufacturing plant in upstate New York hiring a bunch of people to operate a fucking conveyor belt. Done.
You're not bringing back manufacturing. It just ain't gonna happen.
Standards
in this country are too high.
It'll be a fucking factory full of fucking robots.
Exactly. Those are the only factories, because our standards for working conditions for people are way too high. Not that that's a bad thing, but it just makes expenses go up. And it's like, well, if I was a company, I'd do the same thing. I'd be like, why would I pay twice as much to make this shit here if I could just go overseas and have them do it for much cheaper, ship it back, and then sell it for cheaper? More people will buy it. So in a way, it's still benefiting people.
I understand that perspective.
It's like what I don't get about people hating on Amazon. It's like, if that's like, I get it. They don't pay a lot of taxes. That's because they're smart. Like, they just figured out, they just got loopholes. Like, you want to change that? Have the Congress pass something. I don't know. Change the laws.
Right.
Change the loopholes.
I'm not saying that.
But a company like that, think about what they've done by not paying taxes. They can reinvest that money back into the company. Like, if Amazon was paying 25% tax every year, they would not be where they are now. You know what I mean?
Oh, but they still should be paying something in tax.
Something, I guess.
I mean, if you make if you're taxing the regular person at 20-something%,
oh, exactly,
you should be getting taxed too, not because your company is losing money by $1.5 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Because in the last quarter you decided to acquire some fucking bullshit company so that you can lose money, so you can write it off on the taxes.
But at the same time, people can talk shit about it, but they're still buying off of it, and they don't have a problem with how cheap everything is on there. And that's one of the reasons everything's so cheap.
That's a great point. My thing is like, I understand that Congress has to change those laws to be able to make Amazon pay that tax. I'm not saying Amazon should pay that tax, because I do believe that tax money has been redistributed into their company, right? Yeah. Not at the lower levels, honestly, but at the higher ones, and like at more technology and stuff like that, to be able to afford those prices to those people. But
well, that's the thing too. New technology costs a lot of fucking money.
I don't mind paying $1 or $2 more for a product, knowing that it's
for them to pay at least $20.
It's a good company in an aspect. You know what I mean? Like, they can pay taxes. I don't think that the Facebooks, the Amazons, the Googles need to be skirting money that they have sitting in cash. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
They have so much cash sitting on hand that paying those taxes really wouldn't impact them at this level.
Oh yeah, but at the end of the day, you can't blame them. The only person to blame is the government.
Yeah, of course.
Because they allowed it to happen. It's really a big thing, especially with like pharmaceuticals, healthcare. It's just lobbyists. Like, that's the root of all the problems.
Yeah, I think lobbyists.
People just started lobbying, got all these fucking laws, regulations, crazy shit in there, and now it's just so fucked up and so just overwhelmed that there's really no good way to take it back. And it's funny
how we go back, because you were talking the other day about the subprime loan market, and it's like how bad they were in 2006, 7, and 8, right? Terrible. And then all of a sudden they just came back as a different name.
Yeah.
And it's back and better than ever.
Yep.
For now. Is it though? Because the same sort of things that were happening then. Not better than
ever. Yeah, we can't.
The same things that were happening then are happening in the real estate market right now.
No,
in the loan market.
Not the same, but something similar.
Pretty close.
Well, people aren't getting loans without being able to prove their income anymore.
Well, I'd love to short some student debt.
Oh yeah, that'd be beautiful. Hey man, it might not even exist anymore. They might just bless it.
I don't think
no, that'll never happen.
That'll never happen.
I mean, that shit to me is psychotic.
Wall Street wouldn't have it. What?
Exactly.
If you said
The banks
no,
wouldn't
you
have
can't
it.
bet against people's home loans in 1980, you would have thought.
You'd have thought.
You'd have thought.
They're like, you're not gonna bet against the average person. Why not? And that's also like,
Yeah, it was your good
I don't
friend.
know if it's a problem or
It's
not.
your good friend fucking Billy pushing
boy.
those housing laws through.
It's all of them though. Like
It
that's
was-
the
it
one
was-
thing. People
it was
always
the three
blame
of-
the president, but it's
it was-
really Congress who
No, it was
makes
all
all
three.
these fucking
It was all
laws.
three of them. It was.
Yeah.
It was Clinton.
They
it
just
was
go out
Bush,
there and they champion it.
Clinton, Bush. And then
Well,
Obama.
Bush, Clinton,
Let the
Bush.
kids
Bush,
play.
Clinton, Bush.
Let the
Obama,
kids
like
play.
he was doing some wild shit too. They were all doing crazy shit.
What was besides the fucking?
That's
drone?
what drives me insane too, with
What
like
was
the
Obama
Fed
doing?
and all these people who work on the economy. 80% of the time, by the end of the day, they're fucking wrong. So it's like, who are they to be telling us
Who the
what
hell
to do?
is Janet
and to be in
Yellen?
oh my god, dumbest bitch alive. Fucking Greenspan, anyone who's ever run the Fed, like they're just liars.
Janet is a good friend of mine.
Yeah, nah, those people are just fucking lying frauds.
She was
who
at
will just
Ivanka's
tell you what
wedding.
you want to hear, and then they don't ever know what to do. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna raise it 3 times this year." Raise it once, and they're like, "You know what? Maybe I think we need to cut it." It's like, well, which is it? Because I remember at first when they were like talking about why they didn't want to raise interest rates, was they were like, "Oh, the price of oil's coming down." Well, guess what? It's going right fucking back up now. So what's your excuse?
What does the price of oil have to do with the price in tea in China? Like, it shouldn't equate. They
Exactly.
shouldn't be correlated.
Everything's correlated though. That's what's
Somehow.
crazy. Well, oil I can understand because oil is affecting everything.
In some way, but it really.
If
but
oil
you
goes
think-
up, shipping goes up.
Yeah.
Costs go up around the board.
Right.
But what if the price of tea goes up? That shouldn't be affecting oil.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Interest rates shouldn't be oil shouldn't be affecting interest rates. If oil's coming down, it shouldn't affect interest rates, because they're saying that because
Exactly.
the
It
cost
shouldn't be. Because it really
Exactly.
doesn't.
it
They
doesn't
just act like it does.
exactly.
With something exactly like that, they're like, "Oh, we don't want to raise it because the price of oil is getting really low." And then it starts going back up, and they're like, "Well, we still don't want to raise it." And it's like, "Well, so you were just lying to me." They're just looking. That's what they do. Like 80% of the time, they just give you a reason to make you feel better, so they can get people reinvesting still into the stock market.
Sam, you've been looking at your phone a lot.
I got it.
You gotta go.
It's about that
All
time.
right, well, let's cut it. Let's send it out on a good note. I mean, good guy right here, Sam. You know, really paving his way.
Young Wolf,
Young Wolf
Young
out
Wolf
there
of Wall Street.
in Manhattan, grinding. You know, you're an inspiration to a lot of us. You know, shows what hard work does. Black men in America. I got to salute. You know, and we hope to have you back on.
What would you say to the kids? To the young ones,
Just keep
not even the
grinding.
kids,
To the youth.
to the
What would
young
you,
investor.
what would you
People
say
under
to your
30.
No, what would you say to your younger self? Like if you were to go back and see freshman you in high school. Besides that, don't fuck up and get sent to a private school.
Look at all the money he could have made in the market.
Just,
Yeah, that's true.
do it your way. Find your own way and just just stick to the path and don't worry about anybody else. Just do you.
Get to where you gotta go.
You know.
Well, that's inspirational. We hope you come back like your hairline. We're out.
Oh.